Lena Chen had worked dozens of odd jobs since moving abroad, tour guide, interpreter, emergency translator at embassies, but nothing ever felt quite this tense. She stood on the polished marble of the private airport terminal like she'd somehow trespassed into a movie set. Everything gleamed, every step echoed, and every person in that room carried either a clipboard or a concealed firearm. She had been contracted last minute by Hale Industries' logistics team. Simple assignment, they'd said. You'll just shadow Mr. Victor Hale, translate when necessary, be invisible otherwise. That last part stuck with her. Invisible, she was used to that. Victor Hale, the billionaire tech investor, had a reputation even more intimidating than his bank account. Ruthless, calculated, never smiled unless it was profitable. Lena had only seen him in interviews, always composed, always impossible to read. And now she was waiting for him to step off a jet like some intern who'd wandered into a power play meant for people far above her pay grade. She glanced at the 5 men standing nearby, his escort team, supposedly. All of them wore identical black suits and earpieces. No insignias, no names, no warmth. They didn't speak English to her when she'd arrived, only nodded once and went back to silence. She kept her head down, pretending to review her notes, but their voices drifted close enough to catch. Not English, not accented English, Chinese, specifically, northern dialect, familiar, sharp, quiet, che men yi guan, wo men li ke na sha ta. Once the car door closes, we take him down. Lena's eyes darted up instinctively, but she forced herself to look away before they noticed. Blood roared in her ears. Did she hear that right? Maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe they were talking about some training exercise or a security drill. But then came the second whisper, lower, almost a murmur. Dong zuo kue dian, hu mian hai yu ren jia ying, move fast, there's backup waiting. Her mouth went dry. This wasn't protocol, this was a hit. She looked around the terminal. Nobody else even reacted, they didn't understand. One of the guards adjusted the glove on his right hand, fingers brushing over what looked like, no, definitely, a compact taser rig concealed beneath his sleeve. Another's stance shifted subtly, weight balanced like a fighter ready to strike. Her instinct screamed, say nothing. Walk away, this isn't your fight, let the billionaire deal with billionaire problems. But another part of her, the one that remembered her father telling her, understanding a language gives you responsibility, not just advantage, wouldn't let her stay silent. The air pressure changed as the private jet door finally opened. A staircase descended with mechanical precision. And there he was, Victor Hale, tailored coat, sunglasses, not a single hair out of place. 2 assistants trailed behind him, carrying briefcases. The guards straightened, almost in unison. Lena's heartbeat pounded against her ribs like it was trying to warn her louder than words could. Victor started walking toward the armored SUV. She made her choice. She stepped forward. Sir, don't get in the car. The words slipped out of Lena's mouth before her brain fully caught up. Her voice wasn't loud, but it was firm, enough to halt Victor Hale in mid-step. He turned, brows pulling together in irritation beneath his dark sunglasses. What did you say? His tone was clipped, the kind reserved for people who wasted his time. Lena's throat was dry, but she didn't back down. She forced her voice to remain steady. Please, don't get in, it's not safe. The air around them changed instantly. The 5 guards stiffened like wires pulled taut. One of them stepped forward, expression hard, his Mandarin accent thick when he barked in English, she's confused. She doesn't know protocol. Victor's gaze flicked from Lena to his guards. He was a man who thrived on control, on reading situations quickly, but right now he was caught between 2 conflicting pieces of information. His jaw clenched. Explain yourself, he said to Lena, each syllable measured. Her palms were sweating, but she didn't hesitate. She switched languages seamlessly, her eyes locking on the leader of the guards. In Mandarin, she said clearly, Ni men yao xian zai dong shou ma, hai shi deng ta shang che yi hu. Are you going to strike now, or wait until he's in the car? The words hit the men like a thrown blade. The leader's expression flickered, just for a fraction of a second. His nostrils flared, his jaw tightened, his fingers curled too tightly against his side. That involuntary twitch was all the confirmation Victor needed. Lena saw it too. You see it, she pressed, this time in English, turning back to Victor. That wasn't denial, that was panic. For a moment, Victor didn't move. His assistants hovered behind him, wide-eyed, uncertain whether to step in or stay out of it. The silence stretched heavy, tense enough to snap. Then Victor did something Lena hadn't expected. He didn't ask more questions. He didn't argue. He acted. Inside the jet, now, he shoved Lena forward, shielding her with his own body as he tapped his wristwatch in a rapid sequence. A silent alarm, his real lifeline. The guards reacted instantly. "Sir, wait," one said, reaching for him, but the movement was too sharp, too aggressive. The facade cracked, and then everything happened at once. From across the tarmac, a second vehicle roared into view, a convoy Lena hadn't noticed before. Black SUVs, tinted windows. Doors flew open and armed men in tactical gear poured out, weapons drawn. Victor's real security detail. The imposter guards froze, realization flashing too late across their faces. One tried to reach for his weapon, but the professionals were faster. Shouts erupted, metal clanged against asphalt. Lena stumbled forward, heart hammering as chaos exploded behind her. She had no idea who to trust except the man pulling her back toward the safety of the jet. Victor's grip on her arm was iron, but steady. Not cold, not detached anymore. As they ducked up the stairs, he leaned close enough for her to hear him over the commotion. His voice was low, sharp with adrenaline. "You just saved my life. Don't think I didn't notice." Her legs shook beneath her, but she met his eyes. "I just listened." His look lingered, piercing, evaluating, as though for the first time in years, someone had managed to surprise him. The jet door sealed behind them with a hydraulic hiss, muffling the storm of shouts and sirens outside. Lena staggered into the cabin, her knees nearly giving way beneath her. The luxurious interior, cream leather seats, polished wood panels, soft ambient lighting, felt like a different dimension compared to the chaos unfolding on the tarmac. Victor guided her into a seat, not roughly, but with a firmness that suggested he was still riding an adrenaline high. "Breathe," he instructed calmly, taking the seat across from her. He removed his sunglasses, fixing her with intense steel-gray eyes. "Start from the beginning. What exactly did you hear?" She swallowed hard, forcing her voice steady. "They said, once you're in the car, they'll take you down. They were coordinating backup. They weren't your men." Victor's expression didn't change, but his fingers drummed once on the armrest. "And you're fluent in Mandarin?" "Native," she replied. "Born in Wuhan. Moved to Canada when I was 13. I wasn't hired to use it today, but I heard what I wasn't supposed to." A silence followed, not uncomfortable, but heavy with calculation. Victor Hale was a man who made decisions quickly. She could almost hear gears turning behind his eyes. Then he leaned forward. "Do you know how many people have traveled with me over the years?" he asked. Lena blinked. "No, sir." "Hundreds," he said. "Assistants, translators, PR handlers, advisors, thousands of staff across my companies. And you know what 99% of them do when something feels off." She hesitated. "Stay quiet. They assume someone else will handle it." His tone was razor sharp now. "They wait for permission to act. You didn't." She didn't know whether to take that as praise or a warning. Outside, through the oval window, she saw the fake guards being dragged face first onto the asphalt, hands zip-tied behind their backs. One still looked stunned, not from defeat, but from disbelief that she had been the one to expose them. A tremor ran through her. Victor noticed instantly. "You're safe now," he said firmly. She let out a shaky breath. "I wasn't expecting all this. I thought I was just translating." He sat back slowly, studying her as if reassessing everything. "I don't hire translators." She frowned. "I was hired. Not by me," he corrected. "By someone in scheduling. They saw a language certificate and plugged you in." He paused, his gaze locked on hers. "But I hire something far rarer." Lena's pulse picked up. "What's that?" "Instinct," he said simply. "People who hear what others miss. People who act before asking." His next words were decisive. "I want you on my core team. Permanent, high clearance." She blinked. "Me? I'm not just anything." His tone brokered no argument. "You're the only reason I'm breathing right now." She stared at him, overwhelmed. A translator, a nobody, and now, offered a place beside a man who ruled empires. Finally, she managed a shaky smile. "One condition." His brow arched. Already negotiating, she lifted her chin. "If you ever get into a car before I do, I'm quitting." Victor Hale, ruthless, unreadable Victor, actually laughed. "Deal."